Give me 40 minutes and you'll heal how you love. Have you ever noticed how the way you were raised shows up in how you love? Tonight, we have a special guest that is willing to face that very question live. On tonight, we have a young woman named Janelle who's been facing an issue that all parents, all of us, have to face. The situation is Janelle's asking herself, what happens when your own mother lives inside of your parenting, but you didn't invite her? What happens when your own mother lives inside of your parenting, but you didn't invite her? Not in this way. That's our conversation for the evening. In just a moment, I'm going to bring Janelle onto the show. But don't think I don't see you coming into the room. What's up, twin? What's up, twin? Good evening, good evening, good evening. By the way, if this is the first time that you are here with me, then I want you to know one thing. If you're ready to live free beyond fear, welcome here. I'm Dr. Shawn, and I believe you do not need years to heal. You just need one real breakthrough. That's why I invented Transcendent Psychology, and I test it in the real world, on real people, on my game show, Countdown to Breakthrough, the only game show that heals your soul. We are working with a young woman named Janelle, and you know what? I want to go ahead and get to the conversation because regardless if you are a parent or not, you know what it's like to feel like your behavior, your actions are somehow coming from ghosts of the past, things that other people did that show up in the way that you treat the people you love the most. Let's go ahead and punch on over because we are live. I'm about to ask Janelle to unmute here. Boom. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Okay. Chat, I'm waiting for y'all to come through. Let me know when you can hear myself. Because I don't want to be talking, get to talking, and we get to okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so Janelle, thank you so much for being on the Breakthrough Live. I always say, coming on a show and being vulnerable, coming on a show and speaking what has been true for you is one of the greatest examples of leadership because when people are able to see that there are women who aren't afraid to actually turn and face what is actually happening inside of their own lives, it gives people courage to step forward and start to face their own challenges. And so tonight, the thing I want to talk about is this situation. One of the things that I saw from you was that you were saying that there was an issue as you're communicating with your own daughter. You have become a mother, and you're noticing that the parental style that you were raised with is appearing for you. It's showing up in some way. Can you give us a little bit of background?
In 2021, I went through a breakup, and it was with somebody that I was with for a while, since I was like 21 up until like 33. And I didn't realize, I feel like I allowed that relationship to like take over like so much of my life and not really noticing that I wasn't paying as much attention to my child, if that makes sense. Um, but I was giving like love, more love to someone else. Being in that relationship, um, it caused me to be more angry than anything. And I was really taking the anger out on my child.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say that there was a relationship that it was taking up so much space, so much attention that, of course, you still showed your child love. You were still taking care. You were still doing all of the things, but you know personally that it felt like this kind of relationship was even swallowing up space that was included, intended just for her. Right. That's what I'm hearing is that your
Mhm.
this relationship was eating up more space than it should have, including the space inside of your own mind. Like it sounded like this dude or this person put you through it.
Um, yeah, just thinking back to like how I grew up and I guess her being a single mom of 3 and um I'm sure that was frustrating for her to be a single mom of 3. So she probably was taking her frustration out on us. Yeah, I was. That was good. Um, yes, I was. I did realize that I was allowing history to repeat itself. And the moment when I realized that I was allowing like other people to kind of like dictate how I treated my daughter, like or affect how I treated my daughter. Um, like just being so frustrated about people that didn't really matter and my focus being in the like in the wrong place.
The name is Tyra Leslie. I don't know what the rest. I don't know. I don't know.
That's
Do
my
you know this?
cousin.
Okay, so that's your cousin. So Tyra's saying, not feeling as you have a voice.
Yeah, being unheard and not feeling like like I have a voice. Thank you. She bringing my back up. Thank you.
So
Mm.
cuz no. So Tyra keeps going. She says, not feeling as if you have a voice and trying to please everyone, including family,
Yeah,
allowing people to get over on you, including your passion for hair.
yeah, yeah. So feeling like I didn't have a voice, and that comes from the household. But then feeling like I wasn't really being protected around other people protected, like, when it came to my mom, like, not standing up for me when other people around me, family, were, you know, like, just not standing up for her daughter.
If you could believe one new truth about yourself tonight, what would it be?
That I'm more courageous that I'm more courageous than what I think. Um, I'm braver than what I think, and I've always been brave.
More courageous than what you think, braver than what you think. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay, let's go to the breakthrough board because now that we've seen the example, now we want to understand what's really going on. Now we want to understand what's really going down. So now we come to the breakthrough board. And again, folks, you know what I'm saying? The breakthrough live is almost like a spiritual laboratory for me, right? So and for all of us for real. And so it's kind of like I started doing this thing where I don't even know the principle, the pattern, and the path. Like I gotta say, we're really about to think about this. You know what I'm saying? You should grab some tea. Okay. But we want to break down the principle. We want to break down the principle of what we saw, the pattern behind it, and we want to understand our path forward. We want to understand our path forward. And so for real, I'm about to get quiet and let this principle come through. Because as we watch tonight, we saw that love doesn't just operate in the abstract, that our memories themselves are sites for transformation, and not just the kind of transformation that I don't call it a transformation, the kind of thing that you can get at a just by talking through things. I mean the kind of transformation that is substantial, that cleanses from the inside out. That even if you're nervous, you can't help but feel, which is what Janelle's giving us right now. Even if you were nervous, Janelle, you still feel the truth, right? Like there's something gorgeous about that. It's undeniable. And the beautiful part is that people can feel the truth through you. So we need a principle for the evening. The principle, to show y'all some, to show y'all some high level art. This is our principle. Our principle from the evening and for the evening is that love cuts through fear. I just want to be, this is a knife. This is a knife. Love cuts through fear. It's almost like, slashes through that boy a little bigger. Notice that when Janelle was on, there's a little bit of nervousness. There's a little bit of, yes, anticipation. And yes, a little bit of where is this going? Yes, a little bit of, I don't know if I want to say too much on the live. You feel me? And yet, however long it took us to arrive there, it's like this, this love force, it was able to cut through her fears. You notice that she was still, even if you could say, okay, well, there's a whole bunch of levels she could do. It's her first time doing something like this, right? So a lot of times people's minds can get distracted and can get to a place where the fear is speaking so loudly that they can't even get through the exercise. But what we saw tonight is that from the comments of Janelle after the show and on, or comments that she's actually putting in the chat and from what she's saying on the while she was on the feed, we're seeing that this love tool, this love technology, this love energy, this immaculate field, that it connects and stabilizes the mind. Not only so that we can go back and treat memories, deal with the past, but so that we have the very courage to go back and deal with memories, deal with the past. And we come out of the memory, even if we don't know exactly the place where we were made afraid, inside of our own past condition, inside of our own memory, inside of our own childhood. We don't need to worry about that because love is going to cut through the fear. Not only does it give us the courage, which is the one thing that Janelle said she wanted tonight, not only does it give us the courage to face our fears, but once we are applying it to memory itself, love is transforming the fear we formerly associated with our childhood, our upbringing, our parents, the uncertain world that we were moving into, that past relationship. Uh, you understand. Janelle told me tonight that the one thing she was looking for was courage, to know that she was brave beyond all measure. But what I'm telling you right now is you rock with this love thing, and it cuts through the fear thing, which means that courage is your byproduct. It means that courage is that's the byproduct that you get just from facing yourself with love, just from facing yourself with love, just from facing your past with love, just from facing your relationship with your mother with love, just from facing your relationship with your daughter with love. Courage becomes the byproduct. Think of it as the scent you give off. And you have this as long as you have that. You have this, put a period on it, as long as you have that love thing. So that's our principle tonight, that love cuts through fear, restoring the courage and the bravery that is our birthright. Someone put in the chat that you understand. Hey, Sublime, don't think I didn't see you. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in. Welcome in, Sublime. Don't think I didn't see you. I know I saw you peek through. Break the Turtle was looking for you. But he going through some things right now. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll get him hooked up and healed up for next week, though. You know? Okay, so, okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Twin saying understand. Twin saying understand. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Janelle saying fear was trying to get me there. Absolutely. Absolutely. But fear cannot. But fear cannot. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. So we have, because you might even say, like, for real, like, you might even say, you know, Janelle could have just closed the call off, even when it was starting to feel uncomfortable. Like, man, where's this going? You know what I'm saying? But she stayed. And having stayed, got something that is unspeakable, but we still do our best. So the question is, now that we know the principle that The principle for the evening is that love cuts through all fear, giving us, of course, the ability to not only face external situations with courage, but also face ourselves with courage, face our memories with courage, face our past with courage, face the people in our lives on the present plane with courage. You dig what I'm saying? So we can have the courage as long as we have the love, because love cancels out the fear. So now courage becomes like a natural sense. It just becomes, courage is a name that some other people give to you for real. They'll say you're courageous, but really you were just following love. Ooh, okay. So that's our principle for the evening. What is the pattern? And when we talk about the pattern, we're talking about what is that thing that, what causes the problem in the first place? So like, see, once I understand the principle of something, I don't need a whole bunch of extra lessons. I can basically apply that principle and I can find my own way. Once I understand the pattern behind something, well, now that enhances my capacity for recognition. Once I can see pattern recognition, once I can see a pattern and I know what it is, I can interrupt it. Oh, okay. So what's the pattern behind tonight's phenomenon, behind this feeling of being unheard, right? Janelle was, that was what she was presenting with us tonight. So that feeling of being unheard, of being voiceless, of feeling like people weren't quite protecting her in the way that she wanted to be protected. But then also understanding that, well, they were just doing the best that they knew how to do. But I'm like, okay, what's the pattern behind the very feeling, the very emotion, the very sentiment that I'm feeling voiceless, feeling like I don't have a voice? What's the pattern behind all of that? What's the pattern? What's the pattern? Hmm. Okay. Okay. This new format that I've been doing with the Breakthrough Live is I don't know the principal pattern path. And so when something's coming to me, I'm like, all right, so this is what is coming. It's the idea that voicelessness comes from identity constriction. Voicelessness comes from identity constriction. That when we feel voiceless, when we feel like We don't know our own sound, our own voice. Really, what we're saying is we don't know our own self. We don't know the self. That feeling of voicelessness, it comes from a sense of restricting the identity so profoundly that we forget what we ourselves are truly asking for. We forget what we ourselves are actually guided to say, guided to do. The identity restriction follows too, because like the voicelessness identity constriction, like if we allow other people to silence us, then we're also allowing them to define us because we don't get to speak our possibilities anymore. They're speaking our possibilities. They're giving us the range of behaviors that we can happily participate in or be banished, be outcasted, whatever the case is. If we assign our ability to speak our own reality to somebody else, if they take our voice, they take what we can say, take the world that we could build, take out our possibility of self. And we allow them to because we don't think we're big enough to speak up. We have this identity constriction. They've constrained the person that we believed we could be. They said, oh no, uh, uh, you need to go get a more satisfying career that's going to be a little bit more financially lucrative. I don't know how many times people told me to go be a lawyer instead of a scholar. Don't do the PhD. Just go get a law degree. For somebody else, like Janelle, that could look like, hey, you don't need to spend time doing all this, doing hair. You need to go get you something that's going to be real. It's going to be stable. It's going to be secure. And once people are able to define the little box, once they take away our capacity to speak our own possibilities, they put us in a little box. See if y'all can see that. They put us in a little box. And instead of being this massive thing, that's a person inside of there. Now we just get to be whoever they said we were. We don't get to speak a new reality because there's no one who's supporting it, no one who's allowing it. And so we get this voicelessness from this identity constriction. Once somebody has constrained our possibilities of self, we don't have all this to say anymore. We only got what this tiny self can say. We only got what this tiny self can say. And so our pattern here is that voicelessness comes from that identity constriction somewhere along the way. Someone decided that because they could not see the possibilities for our life, that those possibilities were not possible. And that in order to create the safety that they believed we needed, they assigned us the comfortable path. And that's only a problem if we believed them. So you only give the voice up when you believe them. We give that voice up when we believe them. And we only believed them because we didn't have an expanded sense of self. You understand that identity constriction originates that voicelessness. And so if our principle tonight is that love cuts through fear, and our pattern, the place where we run into trouble, is that the voicelessness, our sense of voice, our sense of voice is connected with our sense of self. And that only a person who thinks of themselves in a small way, whose identity has been constricted, can also have their voice restricted. Similarly, when somebody has lost the capacity to speak a new possibility for their life, they are not operating from a supreme frame, they're operating from a limited frame, from a constricted identity. Okay, that's the pattern. So now we need to talk about the path forward. What actually even solves this? The identity constriction you could think of as we restrict our identity when we want that safety, we want that security. So now there's fear that's restricting our identity. That fear, that identity constriction makes us vulnerable to seeking comfort instead of seeking our own true authentic expression, our own true authentic voice. So we're left with this voicelessness. Now the question is what's the path forward? How do we get made whole again? How do we get restored again? I'm talking about the path. How do we go back? If I can put this here. So the path forward is this. Use love to restore identity. The specific skill that we use tonight, this was a kit. Remember, KIT just stands for Conscious Transformation Technology, right? But when we can use love to restore identity, we went back with Janelle and we started sending the white light of love to every single thing inside of Janelle's memory. And we made sure that we started with her felt sense of love. What are we doing when we do that? What are we doing when we do that? Well, what we're doing is we're using love to restore her deeper sense of identity. In other words, we must ask the question, if the memories are affecting you and you have the ability to change them, you have the ability to send love to them, to transform what they mean to you. If your thoughts can be augmented, your thoughts about the past can be changed and transformed. What does that make you? Does that mean you have no authority over your life, or does that mean you have divine authority over your life? Who are you? So quietly and subtly, what Spirit was having us do was augment, transform through the memory augmentation, through the kit, through the conscious transformation technology. It was quietly having us transform Janelle's identity, restoring it back to its natural equilibrium, its natural expanse. Because notice that Spirit had me say, hey, do we have to go to the store in order to buy this? Sowing seeds for this very moment right now, when we see that, oh, wait, the point of this was just to restore her identity. Unbeknownst to her, unbeknownst to me. But by getting her to the place and by getting yourself to the place where you say, wait a minute, if if something that once felt heavy now feels light, if it feels like a weight could be lifted off of me and I didn't have to go buy anything, I didn't have to go do anything other than access this energy right here at whatever level I can access it. Even if it's just a little bit of love, that's fine. If it's a lot of bit of love, that's wonderful. But if it changes the way that I feel in the here and now, and I did that, would that mean I am such a person with no authority over my mind and life? Or would it mean I am a person with divine authority over my mind and life? You see, once we transform this identity, restore it back to its natural expansiveness, what you find is that love naturally speaks. There ain't no more voicelessness. What you find is that love naturally speaks. And once love is speaking, not only have you found your path forward to speak yourself, but you found your true voice. You found the true capacity, the highest level of voice. And so that's our lesson for the day. Uh-oh, Valente in the room, Dr. Shawn the Grace. Valente in the room, welcome in. If you're choosing breakthrough tonight, send this video to somebody who needs this message right now. Send this video to one person that needs this message right now, because when you do, this moment could be the moment that changes their life. This moment can be the moment that they decide that they want to go into their past and bring a certain energy to bear.